Hey everyone, this is Chad again. I haven't done a video in a while, but just wanted to show this new library I just put together here. Buttonfix library. So some people probably haven't heard of these fasteners, but they're pretty unique where they can drill. Essentially, it's drilling a hole, and then you have a mating fastener that would go on the opposite side. Take a look at one of these cabinets here that has it. From the top view, you can see there, it's a standard 1/8 inch gap. Oops. Let's pull off the doors to get a visual. That's what it looks like. So here's a rail insert that would include this rail and then the drilling on the rail and also the drilling for the drawer front. So on the opposite part. So that's how that works. Let's look at the side view here. You can see, let's see, I have to go to high detail here. There you can see that hole coming through that panel. That hole coming through the panel. And if we come from the front, we'll see the same thing again. It's a little bit tricky, but right there is the hole. It's insert library. So if we go up to our inserts, Buttonfix type 3. So it's just for the Buttonfix type 3, this library. Like a standard one would probably be this, like a complete 2x2. So it's all laid out across and down is how it's. Here's a 3x1, so 3 across, 1 high or down. There's a 4x1. Now let's just take a look at this in 3D, kind of get a visual here. This is a rail. And there's the operations. Let's just go through some parameters while we're at it. So like you can hide the models for starters. And now we can see the actual fasteners, or the actual operations. So we got our one inch wide hole here. That's what they recommend. And a 1/4 inch deep. I would keep it at that. What they recommend there. What else can we do here? We can adjust all this stuff. So the rails are all adjustable the way you'd think they would be. Just like a frameless rail in native and Mozaik. The difference is, well, to get two-sided operations, we have to add the part. So let's take a look at this cabinet. Let's pull this open here, just kind of look at how we would add a frameless rail here. So here's a base cabinet. Like, let's just say this is a sink base or a floating base. And I got these inserts in there right now. Let's just go ahead and switch it out. What's nice about the rails is you don't have to force it to meet a certain space in the cabinet. We can just drop it in and it'll go to where it belongs. So let's edit this rail here. This is a complete 3x2. Again, the complete ones have operations on both panels. The marker ones will require using the red marking gauge. Let's show you here. Let's go to this drills the panel. Use the red marker. I'll just show you quick here. So go to 3D. Let's remove the door here. On all the markers, I don't include the purple model, just so you kind of are aware that it's not actually drilling the face. And again, if I go to the front view here, well, I better actually turn on my doors. Just check all here. Go to the front view. And you can see there's no hole. You can see there's holes here. But there's no center hole. That's going to be a pinprick hole. So if we go to this insert, and now we want that hole in the front, we'll go to a complete, let's just do a complete 3x1 for now. And you can see there it is. And if we want to eliminate the model for a clearer look, let's do that. Edit this, hide that model. Now we can see exactly what it's going to drill, and we can just feel comfortable that that's going to transfer front to back. Adjust all this here. So any one of these things we can adjust the rail widths. You know, we got to go 4 inches if we got something tiny. See on the back side, we got a tiny little rail. Obviously, it's all parametric. We got our end dados, tenons, our holes, and we can adjust that as well. You have your screw hole diameters here, the end panels, fastener size for Buttonfix, depths, and then we have the purple hole diameter. That's going to mean the front. It's a little bit tricky to see this sometimes, but let's go to wire. Oh, there it is. So there you can see the hole pulling up there, up high. And don't be afraid of this little hole here. That's actually a reference hole on my cabinet doors. So that's coming through in my door library, just so I know orientation for my drawer fronts. So you won't see that hole. But so like I say, if I clear this insert and look at this product, there's no rail, there's nothing holding this cabinet. So really it is the insert that is, you know, again, we'll go to complete, we'll go to let's do a 2x2 one here, rail. What that's going to do is do too high, too wide. And you can see again, it's pulling up everything we need, the whole thing. One thing to keep in mind is it's not pulling up, here's the parts here. So all of these rails, all of these panels are all using the special material. So if you want to change this material, you're going to change, I would recommend changing it here at the info tab or at the job tab. So materials, cabinet, special, change it here. But what I was trying to say is, let's just clear this again. You can do this 2 ways. The complete offers all the operations, but let's just say you already have a 7-inch frameless rail. Okay. But let's say we want to use our standard frameless rail, but we want to do the Buttonfix. So we'll pull that up again. Now we can't do complete because we don't want to add the panel or the rail. You can see this says complete plus panel or plus rail. So we have to do a marker, and we're not adding a panel. Let's do a 3x1 here. So the only difference is now with this is we have to kind of match. We have to match our thing. We have to match our rail. So what we'll do is we'll just split that, and we'll go to separator. Again, we'll clear the bottom. This separator, what you can do is you can lock it to the face. See the face is right there. We'll just click that and say lock the center, and it just moved up. So now what we got is a stock parameter, stock frameless rail. And what we did is we just added operations. So what did we actually add? We're using this marker, Buttonfix. And what does it say about that? It drills the face, use the red marker. It's front mounted. And then it asks us to make the native door parameter outset to an 1/8 inch. So we could hide the models here quick. Let's just do that. So you can see we're getting our operations. The difference is now it's adding the operations to the door or the drawer front, whatever you're going to call it here, the false front. And it's not adding anything to the standard frameless rail because we can't do that. Mozaik won't let us do that right now. Because if you take a look here, these holes, these are the face holes here. The center hole, the pilot holes, these are all going on the face. If you take a look here, the reference is the face, okay? If you go to these pilot holes, the reference is the face. We can't reference the back face. We can reference the back. Unfortunately, that's going to drill the hole in the back of the cabinet. So by using the stock frameless rail, we need to transfer the marks to the rail. So that's kind of why I like this option where we can just go ahead and do the complete setup. And I hope that makes sense that with the complete inserts, you'll get operations and you'll get your rail or panel. And with just the marker inserts, you'll get typically just the one side operation. And you use the marker, the red plastic gouge to prick your material to transfer the holes. So take a look at some other things real quick. A couple things here. This is included, so you can actually, you know, add like a horizontal partition here. And really what this is a panel only with a dado. So I'll just show you quick here. Essentially this would be, let's open it up here. I got my setback right there at 14 inches. Just make it 4 inches. You can see how that moves. Right there, it moves all the operations as well. So you got your qualified tenons, line dado on the bottom, and you'll have a couple operations for your fasteners, 3 on each side and 3 on the bottom as well. I mean, there's certain applications for this where that'd be helpful. But you can also do the same thing here with, let's just say you have a panel you want to add a fastener, or you want to have a fixed panel on something like this, let's say, where you don't need access to something. You want to snap on a door. What we can do here is just go ahead and let's open this up. Go to the interior. What do I have here? I have a complete 1x3 panel plus dado. So, like if I clear this out, what do I have? I have, let's see, a cabinet without any sort of top or anything. So what I can do is I'll go ahead and add the insert again. It's a complete panel plus a dado. The horizontal means the grain is horizontal. So if you're looking for something horizontal, that's what that's for. Let's do a 2x2. We don't need too wide. Let's just go 1x3 panel dado right there. Pull that in. Let's turn on our high detail here. There you can see that pulled up. So now what we can do, since these fasteners require an 1/8 inch gap, we'll adjust the inset here if we want it to be flush. Let's go 1/8 inch. Okay. Now what we have to do, of course, is we have to adjust our door. So let's go back to our door parameter. Go to our doors. Oops, there we go. Door outset, make that 0. And that pulls that in where we want it. So what we have now is we have a tight panel that can go to our box. It would snap on. And we'd have everything we need to just screw on this Buttonfix type 3. And we drill our our purple fitting on the front, and we're good to go. One thing I want to mention here is if you do have a full top or a top on your cabinet, what actually happens here is the insert will adjust, of course. So the height will start below that. So just take that consideration when you're putting this together. You have to put this, slide the front in and slide the top in. But what I'd like to say too is something like this. Let's say you did have a top on this as well. Let's go to your parameters here. Base cab top. Let's say we have a stretcher along with. You can see what happens here, but what if we actually go to our parts tab and delete a front stretcher? There's certain scenarios where maybe you would want to have, you know, a big cabinet with stretchers over here and over here with the middle open. Well, that's what this parameter is for here. I'll show you. Adjust for top up for stretchers. Yes. So that'll move it up the top thickness. So if your top thickness or your stretcher thickness is the same, it'll move that up accordingly. So you have a flush rail. Let's take a look at like an island back here. Say you want to put some doors on the back of an island. You got a panel. You already have a panel. This is actually a product here. So if you look at this, what is this? A base panel back to cabinet base standard. The bottom I have set to a nothing material. A lot of times we have to do that to get these inserts to snap all the way down. So let's take a look at this. So what we have here, go to our interior, and we basically have one insert that we just section split it off 4 ways. So we just use this multi-split or section split vertically. But on this, that's pretty slick. Let's show you this other one here. I think it's kind of cool. Let's go to this other side here. This one here has an actual door for the toe, which is kind of a slick idea, I think. So let's open up this cabinet. Again, it's an island, a base panel back, and for our parts to build, we have a bottom, a back, and a front face. That's all we need. Let's go to our parts. So we got doors. We have a bottom again with nothing material. You can see our button fixes are pulling up here. There it is. You have your operations here, and it is pulling up. Let's see, it's pulling up operations on the front. So as you can see here, there's our toe, which is actually, I've adjusted it down for scribe. But you can see it's drilling the front of that, well, the front of the cabinet, which is actually the toe or the lower door. So let's just say I want to add these inserts here. Just go to our type 3, and we'll go to our marker, and we'll try that again, 2 by 2, too wide, too high. So you see what happens right away. That doesn't work for 4 doors. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and multi-split this separator. And I think for the best way to do this, we will go ahead and lock it. Let's go to lock it on the center. So I hope this has been kind of a helpful demonstration to show how this works. These Buttonfix fasteners are pretty slick. They remind me of the lamello system quite a bit. Pros and cons to both of them. One thing I might want to mention before I'm done here is these panels. So the wall panels. Again, you can put these inserts on any product as long as it has a front face. So I have a front face, so I have an interior. These will come with the library. The only parts it's building is the front face. This is a Buttonfix base panel, and there's a Buttonfix wall panel. You may have to adjust a couple more parameters to get it to suit you, but you can see I have a door and I have a panel. Let's just go ahead and clear this. Now you can see I have a door, but I have nothing more than a door. So to make that work, we'll just go ahead and add our insert. We'll do a complete panel, and we'll go a 2x2 panel. We don't want to have any, if you want to have horizontal grain, you could do that. This is standard grain. If you want a dado, we're not doing a dado right now because it's just a freestanding panel. So 2x2 panel, pull that in. Adjust parameters if we need to by editing it. But we're not going to, so that's it. Everything's parametric. Hope this has been kind of an eye-opening demonstration here.